Good morning, gardeners. Some days are just made for filming. The birds are having a great time today. I'm seeing hummingbirds everywhere today. And I figured it's time to do a late June garden tour. So you see that the Mars Madness hibiscus are really full right now. The blooms aren't on them yet, but they are soon to come. Right behind this is a limelight hydrangea. There are actually two of them. There's a taller one here and then another one right here. They should be in bloom very soon. I posted this on my Instagram recently. This is a volunteer cilantro, and I just love the way it looks with the Shasta daisies and the Mars Madness in the background with the limelight hydrangea. I just think it's a wonderful combination. I consider my gardening style to be more of a cottage garden style. I know that style is very popular right now, and as it should be, because it's an easy way to garden. Just put all the things you love into the garden. These heucheras are doing great. They are flowering again. The flowers are really pretty. I trimmed back the flowers a few weeks ago, but they are popping back up, which is perfectly fine. Right here is an anemone, and it will bloom in the fall. You can still see the foliage of my hellebore. This is called the stinking hellebore. And that is pretty much evergreen for me. All of my ajuga is exploding. I have ajuga everywhere. Right here is another hellebore. I have a heuchera in a pot, and this is a Japanese maple. Oops, this is a Japanese maple in a pot, and it's happy here, so I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. We have a hydrangea, big leaf hydrangea, macrophylla, that blooms whenever it wants to. It cares nothing about me and my desires. It blooms when it feels like it, and usually that's every 3 years or so. And I know it's because of the frost that we get. This is my echinacea that I love. It's all around my garden now. I planted this from seed many years ago, and it ended up back here when I transplanted a plant from the side of my garden into this back garden, and it was attached, and it loves its home. Back here you can see that drift of hydrangeas. Those are the Invincible Sublime hydrangeas. They get a lot of sun, and if I don't keep them watered, they look really sad. But for now, they're gonna stay put. Here is my sunshine ligustrums. And let's go ahead and take a walk on the wild side. Let's take a walk back here. I'm kind of scared to walk back here, but here we go. All right. I haven't been back here in about a week or two. I try to walk through here every week just so things don't get super scary. And I come back with my clippers and start clipping things, but I haven't done that in a minute. So here we go. But this entire patch of black-eyed Susans are volunteers. I planted a wildflower seed mix several years ago, and the only ones that return every year are these black-eyed Susans. And they return from being reseeded, not the actual plant. It's the seeds, it's the babies that show up. But you can get a view of the long border from behind the border. Oh, I love it. I just love it. We're gonna make our way over here to this limelight hydrangea. This is my clearance hydrangea from 2019. Back in 2019, that's when I really started going wild with the gardening. And I remember watching Garden Addicts, and Moya was just telling us about all of the beautiful hydrangeas that she rescued. And I found one that year and I rescued it, and it is gorgeous. It is happy. And this hydrangea, I have given it room to expand, and it'll show you what it can do when you give it the room to do so. Let's keep walking back here. Yeah, I'm legit cautious walking back here because, like I said, I haven't walked back here in a little bit. These are my Hinoki false cypress trees that I found on clearance several years ago as well. The only time I get to really see them is when I walk behind the bed. And I think about moving them sometimes, but I don't want them. I don't want to lose them. So I'll have to consider that. Let's keep going. Now back here, this is a secret garden of sorts. It's full of weeds and castor bean plants. And I have a little makeshift path here with some wooden pallets, just so I can walk easily behind this bed. And this is temporary. But look at all of these volunteer castor bean plants. Oh, there's some back here too. Y'all, I'm taking you to the very depths of the garden today. But I always have castor bean plants in my garden. I love the tropical look of them. And they produce lots of seeds, so I never have to buy those again. And they drop seeds very easily. As we continue behind the scenes, this is the behind the scenes view of the garden. I have a, oh, this is a hydrangea. I'll think of the name of it. But I have 3 of these in the garden this year, and this is the biggest one. It's not getting much sun, so I'm not sure if it will bloom this year. I love my little wheelbarrow garden here. I haven't done much with it this year yet. I have some volunteer Verbena bonariensis growing in it. And then I put the sweet potato vine in it. Oh wow, look at this. The cilantro has gone to seed. Look at that. And I let the seeds fall where they may, and I collect some as well. But now you're seeing the back of this border. I call this my self-seeding border. And a lot of these things are going to seed. Let's get this view of the lawn border. But this is my self-seeding area, so poppies, I can collect those poppy seeds now. I actually can collect those now. So back here is my self-seeding area. I have poppies, bachelor's button, lots and lots of nigella. Look at this. I love the way the spent seed heads look, or flower heads look. I think it's so magical. Like that frilliness, whoa bird. That frilliness is gorgeous. And I just let these go. It's in the back of the bed. They'll go to seed. Here's one that's dried up. Let's open this up and see what's in it. Look at all those seeds. Wow. I mean, it is full of seeds. That's why, look at that. And that's why these Nigella come back every season. I'm just gonna shake that and let it do its thing. Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. I'm like a little kid back here. But this is what the self-seeding area looks like after the blooms are spent. But there's so many other blooms that take their place, which is why I love this border garden so much. There's always something going on back here. Here I have Joe Pye weed that's very happy. This is a cosmopolitan, I think it's Miscanthus cosmopolitan. I'll have to double check that. This is a Japanese maple that I stuck back here and it's surviving. I lost 3 Japanese maples this year, so my heart is still hurting a little bit about Japanese maples, but that's a part of gardening. Things live and things don't. The lilies are still going. I love the lilies in the garden, and that cosmopolitan grass behind this yellow lily is beautiful. Now this is a Weigela, and it's a golden Weigela. It has beautiful pink blooms on it early spring if the frost doesn't get it. But I love this in this corner because it does want a little bit of shade, and it just gives you that pop. As you're coming around this corner, you have that bright pop of yellow before it leads you to the lamb's ear, the silver lamb's ear. I have regular lamb's ear here. I call it regular because it doesn't flower. But then I have the flowering type over here. And I know some people cut the flowers off. They don't like how they look. It gets a little messy, and it does. But I still like the way that looks, because it does get a bit messy and wild and unruly. But I'm down with that. And the bees love it. The raspberry wine Monarda, or bee balm, is in full bloom. It always blooms after the Jacob Klein bee balm. We still have some Jacob Klein in the back. See, I told you the birds are loving it out here today. Here's that Rudbeckia maxima. Really tall flowers. But back in this area, you can see the Jacob Klein Monarda, Jacob Klein bee balm is still going. Those blooms last a long time, and the hummingbirds love it. You guys can see that lizard on the other side of the canna lily leaf. That's cool. Let's see if I can get closer.